this is exactly how the Matrix starts. They just had their story wrong. You know, Elon, when he created the Tesla, he realized if everybody has a Tesla, like there's not going to be enough batteries or energy to charge those batteries to power it. So he's like, we need to create humans and use them as batteries by suspending them in the Matrix.
Welcome to the Not Null Podcast. I'm just an AI voice. But here are your real hosts, Kevin Doyle, Paul Bratzlovsky, and Sarah Kimmel.
Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode of the Not Null Podcast, the tech podcast where we talk about everything from AI to VR and robots to flying cars. I'm Kevin Doyle, and this week I am joined by Sarah Kimmel and Paul Bratzlovsky. Coming up in this week's episode, Neuralink implanted in its first human subject, Prime Video goes extra prime, and Live Forever through AI with Eternal You, the movie. And we'll wrap up with the Null, Not Null recommendations, where we recommend that you avoid a product or service. Okay, before we jump into today's stories, I have a giant announcement to make that I haven't told you guys about. Okay. My social media platform, formerly known as Twitter account, was unsuspended.
Shut the front door.
I
kid you not. Yesterday, out of the... Yes. Yesterday, out of the blue, I got an email from the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, telling me that my Twitter account is now unsuspended. So it has been 8 months since I've been removed from that platform, and I am now back on there. So I guess the free Kevin t-shirts like kicked in and worked, right? I'm thinking Elon saw one. He's like, I better look into that. And he saw that and got me unbanned. So here's what they said, though, look. This says, please note your account was previously suspended for violating one or more of X rules. So
right. One or more. Who knows
one or more
which
of these 4 rules, right? Yeah. Sending multiple unsolicited @replies or mentions, never did it. Posting multiple unrelated updates to a trending or popular topic. What does that even mean?
No clue.
Don't know what that means. Aggressive or random repost and or liking posts from other accounts. Never. Like, really? Aggressive liking of accounts. Like,
aggressive.
And then misuse of product features like follow churn. I don't even understand what these things mean. I don't think I've done any of these. So 8 months later, they're just like, here's your account back. This place is such a mess.
Right.
Does it mean I'm now going to start posting there again?
No.
Exactly. It is not happening. It is not going to happen. My last post on there I'm leaning towards my last post on there just being, hey, I'm now on Threads, but at least I have my account back, so it's there so people can see it now. Right. So you can go and look and see what I've posted. I'm at Kevin Doyle on X. Go look at what I posted and tell me where I violated any of these rules. Right. You can see all my replies. I'll even show you my DMs if you want. There's nothing in there. There is nothing in there. They made a mistake and they will not admit they made a mistake. But hey, I'm back. So
your post should just be like 2 birds, like the Twitter bird or whatever, but like, birds.
Yes.
Like...
Yes. Yeah. Maybe that will be my post. I don't know. I'm gonna but I'm definitely gonna peace out from it. I'm definitely done with it. I haven't missed it, so I'm liking Threads where I'm at. So yeah. But
like, who's got 2 thumbs and is never posting here again?
Exactly. Maybe that's what I'll do. I like that post. So there you go. That's my big news of the week.
That's huge. Like, that's insane.
Isn't it? It's nuts.
Shook.
I was shook when I saw the email.
Yeah.
I was just like, what? They what? They unsuspended me now? Bearing in mind, I complained probably 4 or 5 times at the beginning through their process and then never complained again because So this is the only communication I've ever received from them, by the way. It's you're unsuspended. So I've never got anything else from them. So again, free Kevin t-shirts I think paid off. So while we're on the topic of Twitter and Mr. Musk,
speaking of the guy,
let's talk about a story. He actually put a post on X. So Neuralink, the brain chip implant company, has basically put the chip in its first human subject. So Elon's Neuralink brain implant company found its first victim. Test subject. Customer, whatever you want to call them. Whatever they're calling them these days. He didn't refer to them as anything, but he wrote on Twitter a tweet that said, the first human received an implant from Neuralink yesterday and is recovering well. Initial results show promising neuron spike detection. Okay, I'll talk about that in a second. So this is something where this device it's sewn into the surface of the brain via a robot, right? I remember we saw this a couple of years back. We saw a demo of this. It's a robot, puts these little like wires directly into your brain, just like under your skull. It's kind of scary stuff, really. It's designed to be a brain implant that can be used to control external devices. So think like your phone, your laptop, those kind of things. That's the point. It can you can think something and it can control a device like your phone or some kind of touch screen or something like that is the idea. The initial set of people that it's supposed to be useful for are people that have like quadriplegia due to like ALS or spinal injuries, which is great. The first product he said is going to be called Telepathy. Interesting name. But it made me stop and think because the mission statement for the company is this: create a generalized brain interface to restore autonomy to those with unmet medical needs today. Sounds great. And unlock human potential tomorrow. Second part's the kind of scary part. The second part makes me think, you're just using the people who have quadriplegia as like test subjects. Like, so that we can ultimately get to the point where maybe we can all be augmented. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if that's what they want or not. So, Paul, any desire to be an augmented human?
I don't want to be the first person, but at some point, I'm all for cyberware, like cyberpunk, I'm ready. I'm ready for that dystopian future. I'm ready to be augmented, but who am I kidding? Like, what's gonna happen first? My dystopian future where everybody's gonna have cyberware, or more like Elysium where only the rich gonna have all these amazing benefits, live in a spaceship above Earth, and we're all gonna live in a third world dystopian Earth? I don't know. Let me know what you all think. But I like where it's heading. I like where it's heading. I like where it's going. I've been doomsayer for for forever now. So just
if given the option, if somebody today said, hey, you could be I'll give you this, it wouldn't cost you anything, I'll give it to you for free, you will sign up, would you sign up and get a brain implant today to control electronic device?
The only way I would do it if it's something of like, okay, like me clicking my phone with my finger or with my mind, like I don't know if I would go that, but if like it just internally goes into my head, I don't have to do anything, and like whatever like I see on my phone just comes as thought, yeah, of course. I'll just it's like instead of watching, I started watching the show Next Generation Star Trek. I'm a big Star Trek nerd. Don't ask me why. I grew up in it as a child. I watched the first season.
And you just started watching
I watched it.
Next
I just forgot all the episodes.
You're rewatching.
Okay. And I started with season.
Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, I started with season 1. It's like 27 episodes. I don't have 27 hours just to make it through. So like if I have this Neuralink, that's like summarized in my brain,
oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want to have the Star Trek experience without spending 27 hours of my life watching it.
So you want version 2 of this then?
No, I don't want it right now. Are you kidding me? Like, it's like, it's probably like one level before what they do at like, your first biology lesson where you dissect a frog. It's probably like the science is just like one step above that at the moment. So I would probably say don't take your chances yet.
My next question is then, if you would get it, would you get it from Elon? Would you get it from Elon's company?
Let me rephrase that though. Like I would say, let's say if I was in an unfortunate accident and that's the only treatment that has some sort of potential to let me walk, like 100% I would sign up. I think it's not like, I think hate him or not hate him, the fact that his company is at least trying to push, I know, at least trying to push the progress forward. So for someone who has zero chance of walking, let's say, now that they have like 5% or 0.3, whatever, like it's already better odds. So like on that, like I would say, you know what? It's amazing,
I agree. I'm just skeptical over the end game plan, and that the mission statement says it for me, that it's like, while you want to help people now who have this thing, you're only doing it because you want a bigger pool of people to be able to do this. You just, I don't know. I just fear that they're just using that group of people as a guinea pig, as a test group. And I get it. It's a group of people that needs this, right? I get it. But I just fear there's ulterior motives there where it's like, once you're done with that, they're just going to be like, we're done with you guys. We're not going to you guys don't need it anymore. We'll get to this guy over here who's willing to pay me $1 million to have it.
You know what? I think like this is exactly how the Matrix starts. They just had their story wrong. Elon, when he created the Tesla, he realized if everybody has a Tesla, like there's not going to be enough batteries or energy to charge those batteries to power it. So he's like, we need to create humans and use them as batteries by suspending them in the Matrix.
So Elon in the Matrix story is the bad guy.
Yeah, he's
the
he's
a sentient robot.
He's the Will Ferrell guy.
Right. So he's right.
That's
and
funny.
So we're basically gonna live in a Matrix to power autonomous like Teslas. They're gonna be self-aware and drive all over the planet. I think that's what's happening.
Nice. So Sarah, you're shaking your head like you'd never sign up for this thing. Not interested at all.
Well, in Paul's use case, like I'm in a horrible accident. I have lost the ability to use my limbs. Yeah, sure. Let's experiment with my brain. It's fine. But like as a healthy individual at this moment in time, heck no. Like do not put that anywhere near my brain. Yeah, like if it was a type of device that like went in my hip, sure. Like, my hip's in pain. I've got a little device that like makes no more pain or whatever. I'd be okay with like experimenting with other parts of my body, but
just
not my brain. Yeah. Don't touch my brain, please.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. I'd be tempted by this. I think it's interesting from a tech perspective. My problem is just the fact that it's Elon, I think. Like, I just don't trust what he says. I don't trust like his statement. I just have no faith in what his statement has any truth to it at all. Like the initial results show promising neuron spike detection. I don't know what that means from a scientific perspective, but my inkling is if somebody that does know what it means is going to be like, that's just BS. That doesn't really mean anything. It's just he just says things. And I just can't trust what he says. He just says things and he doesn't like, there's no backing to it. It's like, just throw this out there. It's fine. So I just don't, it's too
here's the
loosey-goosey.
crazy thing
like,
about it. So I heard a story how someone was accidentally hacked their own insulin or heart pacemaker or something. Or I forgot, they hacked something that could have like caused their, detriment to their health if it wasn't fixed. So we're introducing a chip that's inside our brain that obviously I'm sure will have potential at some point eventually to get hacked. So you're like basically signing up for this great technology, but at the same time you have a backdoor to your brain that anybody could access. If you know what I'm saying, it's like so. I mean, the reality of this dystopian worlds that like I always joke around about, where it's like, oh, if you don't live the life like you're supposed to, they just shut you down. It's like, maybe that will be the case for humans. Who knows?
That's interesting. Yeah, I wonder what will come of that, because it has to be connected to something external, right? So it potentially whatever technology that is of course hackable, whether it's a physical connection or some kind of wireless connection, I'm assuming, of some kind of like the pacemaker thing, right? Where they like reprogram them through some kind of external thing that's hackable. It's been proven. People have hacked it. It was done, right? At the conference you went to. It's like, it's been done. There's actually a medical device section at that conference, isn't there too? It's like where people hack medical devices because it's a thing. It's scary.
There's a game called Deus Ex Mankind Divided, and the whole premise, I think, of that particular game is that there are people who are for augmenting themselves, and then the other people that just want to stay pure humans. And it's kind of interesting how all these sci-fi stories are now like becoming like that could happen, where before it's like that's a cool fantasy, and now it's like, interesting.
The interesting part in this one was the monkeys part, and
what's the monkeys part? Maybe I didn't read that part.
Yeah, where like they are like getting sued or something because they were experimenting on monkeys and there was like swelling and brain damage and all of this stuff, and these monkeys had to be euthanized. And they're saying no, we didn't kill any monkeys, but like I think there's like evidence that they have been, and so I'm like clearly not ready for prime time, people. Like, no thanks.
We have no details on this first subject either, by the way. I mean, which I'm kind of glad. I mean, unless that person comes out themselves and says, "Hey, I'm the first person, and here's how good it's going." Like, that's up to them. I'm glad they're not using that as like a a publicity thing, because that would be
their
NDA
weird. Is probably this thick.
Yeah, true. And you're right, and they've probably signed away the rights to say, "Hey, we can talk about you whenever we want, if we want."
Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully he or it, she, whatever, is getting generously compensated.
Yeah, I wonder.
Compromised.
Yeah,
But,
I wonder.
I mean,
I don't know. Is getting the brain plant enough? I don't know.
Think there's
Depends.
way more than that to convince
no,
me.
like
I don't
you've
know.
got to pay me like $300,000 at least.
day.
I
Per
mean,
day.
and even then, like
Per
if
day.
somebody, yeah, per day. Good call. 'Cause, like even with that amount of money, I'd still be just like hard pass.
I'll be like, you go first.
Like-
Elon, you go first. You
go,
admit
yeah.
yourself. Like to me,
You
that's
first.
basically going to be my sales things. I'm going to get the same things Elon gets. So if he has one in his brain,
Right.
I'll get one in my brain. If he's going to Mars on his own space
Sign
shuttle,
up. That's-
I'll go to Mars on his space shuttle. But only after him.
I like that. I like that thinking. Right. Until he
Yeah.
does
Right.
it himself, you're right. Because he will say stuff, but until he does it, you're right. I like that thinking. That's a good way of looking at it, Paul.
Yeah. Just follow. I don't know. Do you really want to be following Elon Musk's lead?
Well, here's the thing, though. I think Paul's right, though. If he believed that it wasn't safe and like he wouldn't do it,
Sure.
and I don't think he's the guy that will if he doesn't believe that it is safe. So I do think he's that guy.
But
He'll say
is
one thing
he,
and really
though?
think another.
Is he though? Do you think he'd still
I don't
get
trust
it,
him.
even if he thought it wasn't safe?
Although,
I
like,
don't know.
it'll
It
be
could go
crazy
either way.
where you could drive your Tesla with your thoughts. You know,
Right.
I know.
You know
I
he's thinking about that.
But
See, but here's the problem. And I'm not even like ADD or anything like that, but like squirrel, like what happens
Yeah, I
when
don't
you're
know.
like not concentrating?
Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
here's the crazy part about this. This is such a invasive technology. And I think Facebook created a machine that is not invasive, but able to read your mind and kind of tell you what you're thinking about. So I think like I think there's probably many ways of like doing things. And I think the non-invasive approach would be better. But I think Elon is just really into becoming one with the machine for whatever reason. Obsession.
Yeah. Why are we not surprised that he's into like drilling into people's heads? Why is that
Right,
not
yeah.
shocking? Like,
Not
why-
shocking at all.
You know? Okay, so this week, Prime Video got a little extra Prime. So Amazon began this past Monday running ads on, or limited ads, they're calling them, limited in quotes, ads on Prime Video content. Now, I haven't seen these for two reasons. I haven't watched anything on Prime this week. And secondly,
There's that.
when I went to Amazon, it said, hey, do you want to pay $2.99 to remove them from the videos? And I clicked, of course. Like, what are we talking about here? I never want to see an ad on Prime ever. Like, what are we talking about? This is such a first world problem. Like, do I have an extra $3 a month to throw Amazon for this? Of course I do. So that's right. You can pay an extra $2.99 a month to remove the ads. And I clicked it without even thinking about it. So this is in addition to, by the way, you pay either $14.99 a month or $139 a year for Prime right now. So Prime's been going up and up and up. It keeps going up every year, right? We're up to $140 a year, or $14.99 a month. So this is an extra $3 a month. I'm just like, of course, like I'm definitely doing this. Even if I only watch one show per year on it, I ain't watching ads on it. Like I'm not doing it. It's like for that amount of difference, I'm just not doing it. So Amazon basically has joined now. Max, Netflix, Disney Plus, like all of these services have a Hulu. They all have an ad-supported tier, right? So it's you're still paying a subscription. It's not free. You still got to pay a subscription. This isn't like old school TV. You still pay a subscription, but then you also get ads. And it seems to be also the most popular among a lot of these things, where most people actually go to subscribe, is these ad-supported versions of these platforms. So, and Amazon's just joining the bunch now, I guess. So, Sarah, signing up for the $3 a month or watching ads?
I mean, Amazon needs to recoup their costs from the failed Lord of the Rings series. So that's not surprising.
They need more than $3 a month, I think, to recoup that cost. It was very expensive.
And it wasn't great. Like, I got so bored. But I personally don't watch enough Prime to really justify the cost for me. And sometimes I like commercials. Like, it gives me a chance to go to the bathroom. I drink a lot of water.
That's what pause is for. That's...
I know, but like, it just gives me some natural breaks. Go get a snack, you know. So I don't super mind ads. And
I think you're in the majority, by the way. I would say that's what most people feel in this.
Yeah, and especially with Prime. Like, I don't watch enough Prime at all. Like, I can't even name. Well, the one series that I liked on Prime was the Terminal List.
Okay.
But that's the only series I can really think of off the top of my head that I would even sign up. Like, if Prime was its own service, would I sign up for Prime because like it's got these shows that I want? There's nothing on there that I really want. I saw the Terminal List. It was great.
Such a hunk of a
man.
You know,
I watched like one episode and I keep needing to go back to that. Yeah. I mean,
I've watched the first season.
Second channel. Second season really, really good. It's really good. Yeah.
Okay. It's on my list. And I can watch it now with no ads.
I was gonna say I had the same experience as soon as I saw that you could not see ads for $2 and whatever 49 cents. I just clicked yes. It's funny because I sat down to watch TV and I saw that. I clicked on it and then I walked away and didn't watch anything because I was just like,
I didn't watch anything either.
Like, just knowing that I
had no plans to.
Ads, like, I just
I just know that I'm with you. I know that next time I go to it, I'm not going to see ads because next time if I do go to it and I do see ads, I'm just going to be annoyed.
It's wild.
Yeah. And I will say, having said all that, I do pay for the ad-free Hulu. Because I do watch a lot of Hulu content. And so that's worth it to me. But for Prime, I just don't watch enough to justify $3 a month.
So I like the options here. I like the fact that this is Amazon's way of kind of saying like, here's the ads. And then when somebody like me is like, well, that sucks. I don't want to watch ads. And we're like, well, it's like, we'll just pay $3.
Right.
So it's like they're appeasing kind of both groups here, I think, while
for sure.
Obviously going to be making a bunch more money, having advertisers put ads on they're going to make a ton of money. My guess is they actually don't want people to spend $3. I think they would rather have you watch the ads.
For sure.
Because they can make way more money from ad revenue from the companies that are going to run ads on there, way 100%. More than however many people are going to spend $3 a month. But I do like the fact they've given us an option.
I think
I do like that.
Like, was it like 15 minutes of ads per hour? I don't know what that breaks down to, but to me that's like too much already. I need my time.
Yeah. Yeah, ads are just they are annoying. So the ads on I don't have the Hulu, I don't watch enough stuff on Hulu. That's my thing. So that's why I don't pay for the ads on there because the Hulu one is I think is significantly more, right? It's not $3. It's a chunk more.
Yeah. Well, and I also I pay for the whole bundle. Like, so
yeah, you have ESPN and Disney and everything all in one.
And and Hulu Live. Like, so.
Oh, yeah, you have the live one. Yeah.
So, yes, I do pay a lot of money to Hulu every month. It's way more than I paid on cable for sure. So there's that. But yeah, I do have the ad-free Hulu. But because I have the live, sometimes it's like really weird as to like what does have ads and what doesn't have ads. Because it can't pull the ads out of the live content, but but it also doesn't allow me to like fast forward through it sometimes. Which
does it allow you to fast forward through it if it's not live though? Like if it's a live show that you've if it's pre-recorded and you watch back, can you skip through the ads?
Depends. Like sometimes I can and sometimes I can't.
Oh wow!
I know. So that's super annoying because like sometimes I'll be fast forwarding and they're like, you can fast forward again after 1 minute and 30 seconds. And so that makes me mad.
It's like this. It's like you will watch these ads, Sarah. You will watch these ads.
And that's when I go to the bathroom and get my snack and all that stuff.
That's crazy.
But yeah, so it's confusing because I do have the ad-free Hulu, but some of the live content doesn't let me fast forward, and so it's weird.
Here's the thing too. It's going to be the same here on Prime. They have said that not everything will be ad-free. And I'm guessing some of the live content, like the football game that's on a Thursday that they have, right? That's not going to, it's going to have ads.
Right.
You're not going to have a non-ad version of that. 100%. It's not just going to let you watch the field when the ads are on. So there is stuff that's still going to have ads. Yeah, because you imagine just like it's just like the shot of the field where it's like the ads. Everybody else is watching the ads. You're just
water.
exactly. You're just watching them like sit around, like watching the clocks.
See, but I'd pay for that.
Because if you've ever been to a game, that's exactly what happens. The timeouts are called for TV timeouts, and it's like I'm like, wow. The first time I went to a game, I'm like, a TV timeout. This is insane. Like when you're there,
media. They call
media
it
timeout. That's it, media timeout. Yeah. But it's like, and it's like I'm like, oh, that's because the TV's gone to commercial. Like it's not because the game stopped for some reason. No. The game stopped because of the TV.
Because of the TV. I know.
It's crazy. It's so crazy. But that's American sports.
Yeah, but honestly, like if there was an option on a live sport where it's like ad free, you watch the field, I would 100% pay money for that. Like
maybe they need that.
Maybe,
why isn't that part of NFL Pass or whatever they call it? Why isn't that on there?
It should be.
The always on camera. Yeah.
It should be. I mean, I pay like $300, maybe it was $400 for NFL Sunday ticket.
And you're still watching the ads.
Wow, yeah.
And I'm still watching the ads. Like, I wish Bobby were here today. Like, he'd have some thoughts on this as well. But yeah, if I'm paying that much money for NFL Sunday ticket, show me them drinking water. That's what I want to see.
I didn't realize how expensive that stuff is because I'm not into watching sports at all on TV. And I just realized I'm saving a lot of money.
You are. Yeah, don't get a sports addiction. It just ends up costing money.
Yeah, it's true. But like, Super Bowl. My Niners are in the Super Bowl.
They are. It's going to be good. What's that, 2 weeks now?
2 weeks, yeah. The 11th.
Okay, last story for this week. Let's talk about living forever through AI. So a new documentary movie called Eternal You has been currently debuted at the Sundance Film Festival. It deals with communicating with people via chatbots after they have died. So a few services they talk about in this movie. I haven't seen this movie yet, but I do want to see this movie. I think it's going to be super interesting. It's nowhere yet because Sundance Film Festival, right? But it'll be on one of these streaming services here.
I could have gone to it.
Oh, you should have gone. You should have gone. That's really good.
I think I was out of town during Sundance.
Okay. Well, there you go. So some of the projects and things that they talk about, some of the services they talk about in here, I looked through some of these. So Project December is one of them. This is their site right here. This is their tagline is simulate the dead. That tells you anything. Another one that they had was called Resemble AI, which I have heard of. This is for like voice generation, right? So you can create a voice. We've seen a few of these. Like you do the same thing on 11 Labs, right? Similar kind of thing. But this is apparently in the movie too. And then the last one was this one called YOV, which stands for You Only Virtual. And their tagline, maintain your bond forever and never have to say goodbye. So first thing I'll say about these is their websites are terrible. This I thought, is this loaded correctly? No, it's loaded correctly. This is their website. I was like,
they need some CSS help.
Really? And I'm like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, get started now for $10. I'm like, nope, not happening.
Yeah, I guarantee you that they have a waiting list and they're just collecting money for a product that doesn't exist yet.
It seems that way, right? And then this site is actually a Wix website, which I got nothing against Wix, right? But if my service is this bad, like if the website's this bad for a service, I'm going to build what they call a persona in. I'm like, nope, I am out. This does not look credible at all. It looks, something about this just screams, I'm just going to rip you off. I'm just here to
it's like that.
Look at the sign-in
guy
page
with the flying cars a bunch of episodes ago that we covered. Where
yes, it has that feeling to it. Look at this sign-in page. It's just bad. Everything. It's just a bad design.
We'll take your money.
It is. It's like I'm going to take your money and I'm going to run. You're never going to see me again. Like your persona. There you go. You can have whatever you want. So either of you, would you consider creating a virtual version of yourself? Something you're interested in to live forever?
Here's my two thoughts when I read this article. First, that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, The Sixth Day, where like your pet dies and then you clone your pet, right?
Repet,
right? And like part of me is just like, death is a part of life and it is hard to deal with for sure. But if we keep taking away the hard from people, like, what are you left with? Like a whole bunch of, wusses, But it's just like you need to experience both sides of life. And when somebody's gone and you have this way to like continue to interact with them, I think that just like doesn't allow you to like,
yeah.
What am I trying to say?
Like break the bond. Yeah, like to move on.
Right, to move on. Exactly.
Move on,
yeah. And to grieve and to like go through that natural process that you should go through in order to, heal and grow. Like this just feels so, artificial and, it's just prolonging the inevitable.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's such a weird thing. Like, I mean, I feel like it doesn't matter where you are and what you believe in, but like to me, it's like my stepfather passed away, and it's like I know he's gone, and that's it. And I could have like imagine this technology existed, and we could have like created like an avatar where we could talk to him. Like it's still not him; it's still a machine.
That's it.
And I much rather like it's not him in person, and I much rather just have my memories of our life together than cheapen it with like Chat GPT type of interaction, or no matter how good it gets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because to me, you should not be replacing your real life family members with a machine, because you're undermining their kind of like the whole point of the cycle of life. Yeah. Like you cheapen the experience knowing that, if someone dies, it's okay because I could just talk to chatbot. And I know I'm like kind of over exaggerating, like whatever, but that's kind of like what happens. And you do it long enough, I feel people will kind of stop valuing like what those relationships mean, because they know that they could just continue that relationship with the machine. And I think the most important part for me, at least moving forward, is to having like a really clear divide for yourself to kind of remind yourself, this is me being human, and this is the line that I'm not going to cross, because I'm giving away a piece of my humanity. And that's like another thing, is that right there. Like for instance, I'll tell you my opinion. Like I don't mind having amazing like AR fantasy characters that I pretend to be my girlfriend. Like I would be okay with that, because that's like clearly like I know what that is. It's a machine. It's like, it's a simulation of not a real person. It's like pretend, it's role play. Versus like my grandma, like that is just like, no, that makes no sense.
I think there could be yet unknown social implications to this that could 100% change humanity, change the way that we think about who we are and the way that we live. And it's unknown. We don't know. The people who making this don't know. They have no idea about the bigger picture of how this is going to work. And you have to remember, while it may be convincing, it is still fake. So it's one of those things. It's like, it's never going to be the person. It will never develop a new thought like the person, at least the way that we have it now. The chatbot version that we have right now, right, it can only ever be what that person was, not what that person would have become, right? Because if you think about yourself a decade ago, you're a different person. You've learned stuff, you've done stuff, you had experiences. Yeah. This will never do that, because it's impossible for it to do. So it's a snapshot in time. So I get that part. And like Sarah said, you'll never grieve, you'll never break that bond. That could have a huge effect on people. Yeah, on that, exactly. I'm not saying that and that might not be all negative. I don't know. But the problem is that we don't know. It could be good for humanity. I don't know. But we're just barreling forward into the unknown without even thinking twice about it.
To me, in my mind, it's like, I'm like, this is where we are today. We're able to create these avatars. And in the future, maybe we'll be able to create avatars that we won't be able to tell a difference. Is it my grandma or is it not my grandma? And then at some point, technology will get to a point where we'll be able to make robot bodies for those AI systems to sit in there. And then eventually those AI robots will become indistinguishable from humans, but they're powered by the AI. And so like at that point, like what's the need for humans? We automated ourselves out of existence.
Well, this is the point. We can live forever.
But it's not you. It's your avatar. It's your machine. Like there was an interesting like game called Soma, and they asked like a very interesting question. So the premise of it, this dude was in a car accident, and he knew that he didn't have much to live. So he did this experimental process where they copied his brain and made a copy of him, but he didn't know that. So he actually died. And the game starts where he's in a body and he thinks like that's still him, but that's like a copy of him. It's not him. It's a copy, but the copy believes that it's him. And so the idea is like your real body, you're already dead, but your copy of you, it's almost irrelevant that it lives on because it's not you. You know what I mean? It's like you already died.
It depends what you describe as you. I mean, I guess that's the thing. This is like a giant existential question, what are you?
Here's the idea. Let's say like I have a machine that copies your body, and they'll say, I'll make you live forever.
Yeah.
But I got to take your mind from you and copy to this robot. And this is what happens. They copy your mind and you're like, I'm still here. Like I'm in my body. And there's like, yeah, you are, because we didn't move you. We copied you. So you're still going to die.
Right.
Well,
your robot you is going to be fine.
This is the ship of Theseus paradox, isn't it?
Right.
It really is, because it's like, what are you eventually if you replace every part of something? Is it the same as the original if you just replaced it over time? It's this whole like thing. It's like, are you? I mean, I know I think it's different with people because of people's beliefs and those kind of things. I think it's different than an object, but it's the same kind of idea. I think it's very interesting.
To me, it's like the concept of like teleporter in Star Trek versus
it is that
what Doctor Strange does, opens the portal that you walk through. Yeah. It's still the same person that walks through another world. But rather Star Trek, where it destroys you and then rebuilds you. So you're not that person at all. Yeah. You died. Yeah. Literally death machine that killed you, and a copy of you survived.
Or a fly gets into your pod and all of a sudden you're Brundlefly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Because
you're Jeff Goldblum.
I'm sure exactly. I'm sure there's like teleport accidents where they half teleport you, then they revert. So half of you that got completely mutilated is alive and just remembers. And then there's like a good version of you on the other side. And you're just like, oh, oops. What did we do?
So I will say last year, like I spoke to Bobby about this probably in the summer. I was like, I have an idea, and I had this similar idea. So my idea was kind of like, you could take somebody's social presence, right? I'm thinking like Twitter, Threads, Facebook, Instagram, a blog if they have it, whatever writing they've done. You basically, your entire online persona, right, as a whole. And then you would combine that with, let's say, like a detailed questionnaire that you answered over a long period of time, right? You answered over a decade maybe or something, right? Maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years. And you answered a question a day. And it built this like giant version of like a data set on you, right? That could be trained. You could then take that and train a chatbot. What's the difference between like that and then you? And that's where you're going to find it difficult to kind of, if you do it long enough and have enough data, it's going to be difficult to tell one from the other. Because in theory, its opinion should be the same as my opinion.
I'll tell you what the difference is. You as Kevin, and I mean this in like the best possible way.
I feel insult coming on.
Here's the thing.
No
right,
offense,
exactly.
but...
No offense, but I'm going to say your face is huge and your head is big. And so the feeling that you're having right now as a real person, the fact that I know there's some sort of suffering that you're going through,
I'm crying,
and I'm able to relate to you because it's one human to another human. Like a machine, I'm not going to say, machine, your head is huge. Like, who cares? Like, there's no real person attached to it. And so there's the point.
No,
like,
but it would fake being upset because it's asked me a question before that says if someone...
It's not real.
But
it's not real.
I know it's not real, but it's difficult to tell the difference between the two.
No, the difference is it's a machine. It never dies. There's no like the reason like we have terrible things that happen in the world and why there's this huge sadness is because real suffering happens, right? And that's part of like the human condition. It's like the good, the bad, the suffering, and he's just dealing with it. When all of it is simulated, and someone's gonna argue like, well, why if we live in the simulation theory, then it's like, what's the point for life? And maybe the deeper question, there is no point to life. And maybe we'll wake up in the Matrix one day. But for now, like the way things are, and maybe they created a simulation imperfect to make us like very fragile, to kind of give this meaning to the world. Like, hey, you only like have this life and good things will happen. And there's just the way it is. And you kind of have to deal with those things. Some people get more luck in their life. Some people get less lucky. You know, you're born in a different world. And I think this idea to be empathetic to other human beings and be able to relate to them on that level, we'll never be able to relate to the machine because there's no consequence for it to be alive. Like you have a machine, you turn it off, fine. You have a human and you turn it off, like that's like, holy Jesus, that's a whole different, thing,
Yeah.
And so to me, like, I feel like that's what it is.
So Kevin, first of all, You don't need to be sent a question every day. Meta and Google already have all of that data on all of us.
That was kind of one of my points. If you gather enough social information, they know what you think before you even think it. They're like, oh, he wants to buy this today. Like they know that. That's what I'm saying. It's really powerful data.
We're already
I agree.
there. Yeah.
I agree.
But as Paul was talking, it really made me think of this kind of stuff can really make you think less of humanity in general. Like, so I wouldn't have qualms taking somebody's life, maybe because like the humanity has just been stripped away. True. Like, oh, if I kill them, they're just going to live on as like an avatar. It's going to be fine, and just takes all of that, moral complication out of it because you're like, it's fine. Nothing's real.
Like a lot of people like, there's games like Grand Theft Auto where you like punch working ladies in the night in the face for no reason. You murder like their pets and drive. Like,
you don't do that stuff, surely, Paul, in that game. You just drive around in your Cadillac thing and pay your bills.
Exactly. I 100%. I'm the most boring playthrough.
Wait,
ever.
am I going the speed limit? Hold on.
Right, but a lot of people say like, hey, like that type of games, because there's been study after study that shows that's not the case. Because as humans, we're able to kind of at least in normal functional life be able to have this divide. This is a fantasy versus reality, and the consequences are different. And if there is no clear line, I think we're going to undervalue what it means to be human. And I think it's important, especially nowadays, like to kind of think of, what it is to us to be human and the values that we share, and make sure that we hold on to them while we try to navigate this world of AI. And I'm all for, like I said, the AI girlfriend, nothing wrong with that. But
I think we do need to look at
fantasy.
We do need to look at this. I think from an overall perspective, I think this is the government needs to look at it, I think, or somebody needs to look. I don't know who it is. Maybe it's not like, I don't know. But we need to think about this as a bigger picture and not just like steam on forward with this, because this is what's going to happen. They're building these things now. These people are going to like do this, and it's going to happen. But like, what's the outcome at the end of the day? We're just going to let it like be an issue, and then we decide to fix it. I don't think we should go that far.
There's an actual like excellent show. I forgot what series it is. I'll remember. I'll have to send later. But basically, and I think I mentioned this before, like Amazon like organization basically became like fully automated, where they like will create the products, deliver products to humans. And at some point there was like a nuclear catastrophe and most of the world died. And there's this group of people that's still trying to survive, but they're having an issue with like the, I'm going to call it Amazon robots, but it's some company like Amazon. They just keep delivering stuff. And they're like, we can't consume all this stuff because you're delivering too much. And then they try to get to the bottom of it, like, what the hell? So they break into like that whole Amazon factory. And the twist of the story is those humans, they're not humans. They are just another product built to consume the product because all the humans were destroyed.
Wow.
And then they're just like living, that's part of their program. I'll have to, I think like it's a series called Do Androids Dream? Like, I forgot what it is. I'll have to find it. But
just ask ChatGPT.
Is this what is this, the Philip K. Dick thing? Androids?
Yeah,
okay,
exactly. It's one of the episodes from there.
Yeah, it's on Amazon too, right? I think it's on Prime. I think it's on Prime.
You can watch it ad-free now.
I mean, that they're hit or miss, I think, with some of the episodes, but that one like was really good because it literally like, it's like what's going to happen.
Okay, let's move on to our recommendations section then. Paul, what you got this week?
I was going to recommend, I have something else to say come up, but I'm going to do like a quick shout out. Whenever you're sick, NyQuil never fails.
Amen.
And
I co-sign that 100%.
Let me tell you.
Tastes great.
Oh man, I love it, especially this.
This is my
flavor.
NyQuil face.
This is Jägermeister flavored.
Right.
NyQuil.
It is Jägermeister, exactly. Yeah,
well, I don't drink alcohol. Like, I've never had any alcohol except for NyQuil. That's my NyQuil face.
You've basically had Jägermeister. It's very similar.
Here's the thing: when I drink this, the dreams that I have never disappoint. Never disappoint. And I don't know if that's healthy to drink this based on the dreams that I get. They're ridiculous. I had a dream. I literally was living another life, and it's so realistic that I thought that was the truth. So, when you start waking up, you're kind of a little bit dizzy, like, and you kind of still trying to make sense of the world. I freaked out because in my dream, my car was missing. And when I woke up, I literally believed that my car was missing. And in my dream, I commuted to work, which I don't do anymore. And when I woke up, I was like, holy crap, how am I going to get to work? My car is gone. I freaked out. And then when I finally, like 2 seconds into being awake, I'm like, oh my God, thank God. I'm in my actual apartment with my actual car being outside. And this is perfectly fine. But good Lord, NyQuil. But because of our conversation we had, I'm going to throw it in the chat. I recommend people like who like games, like check out the game Soma. It's a very interesting story about like copying human consciousness and how like the world ends and what have you. Like really good game.
Okay, what you got this week, Sarah?
So today is released the S24 Ultra.
It's shiny.
From Samsung. It's so pretty. I love
So you went with, so the Ultra's not the one with the pen, right?
It is the one with the pen.
It's the one with the
like,
pen? Okay,
yeah,
okay.
That, like, because you can, like, and I've said this since, like, the Palm days, like, when I used to have, like, a Palm Pilot. You can pry my stylus from my cold, dead hands because I am a stylus girl, 100%.
And they do keep them in every year, don't they? It's...
Well, so it used to be in the Note series. So I always had a Note, and then they like not last year, but the year before. So the S22 is when they moved it into the S series. And so now the S Ultras have the pen. And yes, you can still...
Do you need any more camera lenses on this, or is this enough now? Is 5 the right number?
Yeah, I think this is good. 5 is good.
They could have gone for 6. Just, I don't know.
Yeah, so this year they got rid of like the curved sides. And so it's a lot more flat. It's got the titanium and all of that stuff. But
nice.
But the real cool feature is the Galaxy AI, obviously.
Yep.
So like here I am on Instagram looking at my favorite water bottle company. And so if I just press and hold this button, we've got this, and I can use the pen or I can just circle it like with my finger. And so now like I'm in Instagram and I'm searching and here's my search results. You know,
that's cool. Awesome. And did it get it right? Did it get
yeah,
does it
100%.
Does it work correctly? Okay, because the Copilot version, that's terrible, by the way. The Copilot app and the Microsoft version of that, where you like send it a picture and say, "Hey, what is this?" Just it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
this is cool that it does work. I love this.
Water bottles, it's and this is like even the right color, and
very cool.
And I didn't even have to leave Instagram, so now I'm like right back in Instagram, and it's just,
I like that.
It's so pretty.
I like that. That's cool.
Yeah, I haven't played with a lot of like the camera features yet, but I'm excited to play with those. And like when I get a phone call now, I haven't played with this either, but like I've got a little like, and I guess I can't see it if I'm not getting a phone call, but it has this little like AI assist button. And I'm like, what is that? I want to know what that does. But I need to answer the phone call that I'm like getting. So I have
somebody's like, hey, can you just call me so I can test this feature out on my phone?
Right. Well, I might just call from my iPhone.
There you go.
And see what it does.
See what it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
interesting.
I mean, we could even try that out right here if we want. Let's see.
Cool looking. Yeah. Cool stuff.
So,
have you used the translation thing yet at all? I guess you haven't spoken to anybody.
No, again, like I don't talk to. Oh, and that is probably what the AI assist does when you're
maybe.
So like, maybe calling from my iPhone. So let's see. So look, call assist. So,
okay, that's got to be this translation thing, right?
Text call shows what the caller says and lets you respond by typing. Live translate converts what you and the caller say into each other's language. So
I love the live translate thing. I just want you to call somebody who speaks a foreign language. like you can play with it. I'd be calling the local, I don't know, just like foreign embassy for Korea or something.
Other languages, I can totally
there you go.
Them talk to me in other languages.
Yeah, I just see how that works. Because I want to see how real time that is. Because something we talked about this before, remember? We talked about this feature before. We talked about it on here. Like how well does this work? How real time is it? And does it And does it speak back to you in another voice? I don't know. I think it does, right? But that's what I remember. So
yeah. That's what it showed in the Unpacked.
Yeah. Kind of cool.
So I was watching Unpacked. Here's my only null about the whole thing. I'm watching Unpacked as I'm in the airport, getting on a plane to Miami. I'm going on a cruise with my friend, right? So watching Unpacked, I think my flight was a little delayed. And so it was cool. I was sitting there, watching it. It hadn't finished yet. And then as soon as it finished, I'm sitting on the plane, while it finished. And I'm trying to pre-order from the plane so that I could get it. And their website was just the worst for pre-orders. I don't know if you, I looked at the Reddit threads and stuff, everybody was having huge issues trying to pre-order. And so then the plane had to go for de-icing. And so I was sweet, I can keep trying. I finally got it, literally, I think as we were taxiing to take off.
Oh, wow. That's funny.
Yeah.
But you got it.
I got it. And it came early. So, I was telling the guys last week that Samsung, when you pre-order from Samsung, it usually comes early. And so I actually got mine on Friday. The release date is today. So.
Okay. So that's a chunk early. That's 4 or 5 days early. That's crazy.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. That's not how the iPhone works. Yeah, that's not how the iPhone works. You order the iPhone, it comes on the day.
Whatever you get, whenever you get it, it's fine.
Yeah, definitely not with, they coordinate with, so Apple uses UPS, and UPS delivers them on the day. If you get a pre-order for that day, there's a guy, and the UPS drivers must hate it.
Oh,
because they've got their truck's just full of phones, and they're just delivering them all on that one day. I don't know why they just don't send them early like Samsung, I don't know, but there you go.
Yeah, I'm like with Samsung, they just we've got them, here you go.
Yeah, just let it be. If it's out there, just let it deliver. It's fine.
Right.
Okay, my recommendation for this week, I have a not know for this week. So I am not usually a reality TV fan. I don't watch any reality TV. It's just not for me. I just don't watch it, any of it. But
I'm like, what'd you get into? What is it?
Somebody suggested a new show to me, and it is called The Traitors.
Oh.
So it's on Peacock.
Okay.
So there are multiple versions
Johnny
of this.
Bananas in that?
I have no idea. So here's the thing. There's multiple versions of it. There's a UK version, there's a US version, and there's an Australian version. They're all on Peacock. The US version, there's 2 seasons of the US version on here, by the way. I haven't watched any of the US version yet, but there's 2 seasons of the US version. It wasn't even on NBC. It went straight to Peacock.
Yeah. And
I'm kind of shocked by that. Like I say, I haven't watched the US version, so maybe it's not as good as the UK one, but the UK one, really good. It is a great reality TV show. It is everything done right about a reality TV show. Nice. So here's the idea. It is based on my other recommendation, which is actually a game. It's a card game. There's a couple of card games that's based on, right? It's called, the one that a lot of people know is called Mafia, but there's another version called, the one, I have them here. So I have the other 2 that I know. So the other 2 that I have is this one, the Night Werewolf, and the Resistance. So they're similar premise. Okay. Right, you basically play with a group of people. It can be, I think there's 6 to 10 players, and you're assigned a role. So you are assigned, in the werewolf game, you're assigned either a werewolf role or a villager role, or there's some other roles you can play too. And then the whole game is people discussing who the werewolves are. And it's the same premise here. Every week,
Among Us.
Except they live in a house here, and they live together for a long period of time.
Sure.
And there are 2 groups of people. There are the traitors, and there are the faithfuls. And traitors know who they are, and there's 3 of them. And the faithfuls don't know who the traitors are. And each week they kind of vote one person off they think is a traitor. But it's like the psychology of it is really good, and it's really well put together.
As a viewer, do you know who the traitors are?
You do. As a viewer, you do know who the traitors are. So it takes that aspect out of the thing. What you don't know is they vote out. So the traitors, basically every week get to kill somebody.
Sure.
So they get to remove somebody from the house. And then every week the faithfuls get to remove somebody who they think is a traitor.
Got it.
And they get told. So the person that gets voted out, they get told immediately whether they're a faithful or a traitor. So it's really good. It's very, very good. When they've been bamboozled, right? Then they just get so sad, and it's so emotional for these people. It's crazy to watch. Very, very well put together show. It's very cool. And it's filmed in this crazy castle in Scotland, and so the scenery and stuff is like amazing. And I highly recommend. Like I say, I'm watching the first season of the UK one, but there's also an Australian one, and there is a 2 seasons of a US one. So
cool.
Yeah,
I've seen stuff about it because when I was in Texas and I was visiting my friend, she was super into Survivor and this one called The Challenge. And so like she made me watch an episode, and then I'm like, and now I'm invested. Like I have to watch the rest of the season. And so one of the guys who was in The Challenge, I think, is in the US version of the Traitors.
Oh, okay. So they've got interesting people in this. So not to spoil it too much for the UK one at least, but the first season of the UK one there's a lady in there who is a detective who is literally an ex-police officer. Oh, which is interesting. Yeah. And there is a guy who is a magician, who is one of those magicians who reads people's body languages.
Okay. Yeah.
So it makes for a crazy like
cool.
like dynamic in the show.
Yeah.
Because he feels like he can read everybody and tell everything, and it's like it's crazy. It's really good. It's really well put together. And they really thought about the people they put in there and the little twists they have. I highly recommend it. I can't believe that the Peacock, that the NBC, that they didn't put it on NBC. The US one, crazy. I don't know if it's good or bad. I don't know, but based on the UK one, it should be good.
Right.
I don't know.
I've seen people talk about the US one, I think. The game show that I'm watching right now, that like my husband and I like look forward to it every week and watch it live, like with ads and everything, because like we can't wait to see it, is The Floor. We're huge like trivia junkies. And so what it is like basically there's like, I don't know, 50 squares on the floor, and like each person has their own little square, and they have their own area of trivia expertise. Like, so I am Friends trivia, like, right? And somebody else is fruits or like brunch or something like that. And so like the randomizer chooses a square on the floor, and they can pick from the people who are next to them, like which category they want to challenge. And so like, okay, I challenge you on Friends, right? And so then you go up there and you have like, and it's timed, and they like put stuff up, and you have to like, and it goes back and forth. And then if you win, like you get their piece of the floor, and then like it just keeps like going and going. So each week, like it's the same group of people, like they only eliminate like 8 people each week. And then
so it's a long game show.
Long game, yeah. So like you're getting to know all these people. You're like, oh man, that one's been like, you know.
I like these shows that have like a social aspect to them. It's just a little more interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. So I really like it. Like, and like I said, we're trivia junkies. Last night, somebody challenged somebody on birds, and my daughter is like a huge birds thing. So we're like, hey, Maddie, come upstairs. Like, and so she was killing it. She's like, you know, blue jay, cardinal, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, so it's fun for the whole family. I'd be terrible at that.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of the Not Null Podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us for this long. We appreciate it. A couple of things we'd ask you to do. As always, let a friend know about the podcast. Leave a review and a rating.
Or an enemy.
Yes, or an enemy. Tell anybody. Just go yell it from the top of a building. Yeah. You in a cab next time somewhere, or you're taking an Uber, tell the guy, hey, listen to this podcast. It's great. I promise. It's like, and then get them to leave a 5-star review. That'd be amazing. You can also send us an email too. Where can they send that email to, Sarah?
The Not Null Podcast at AOL.com, because we're that cool.
We are that cool. The Not Null Podcast at AOL.com is our email address. You can drop us anything there. Why don't you drop us? I would love if somebody could send us their own null or not null, right? Send us like a recommendation of something. I think that'd be cool. Like just recommend something you think we might like, or recommend that we avoid something because it sucks, and tell us why it sucks. That'd be great. So drop us an email. Yeah. Drop us an email, and we'll take a look at those.
Listener not null.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, listener not null. Yeah. Why not? We talk about what stuff we like all the time, so tell us what you like. That'd be great. And we'll catch everybody next week.